Hey, movie studios all have their ups and downs, and there is one studio that has been on an unbelievable hot streak, but is this their first clunker? Let's take a look, and we'll see in this spoiler-free review of the Angel Studios film, Sight. Dr. Ming Wang is one of the most respected optical surgeons in the world. But when a young, tragically blind girl from India is brought to his medical center, even he is skeptical that anything can be done to help her see again. Now, as doubts creep in, Dr. Wang's tumultuous past comes back to haunt him, and he hopes by healing this young girl's blindness that maybe he'll be able to see beyond his own pain. But what Dr. Wang doesn't realize is that while he tries to restore the young girl's vision, she is opening his eyes to something even more important. The opening scene of Sight is horrifying, and I was like, Angel Studios is going for it. They're not going to hold back. But unfortunately, after that opening scene, the movie takes a rather tame and subdued approach to some very heavy topics that include racism, violence, a Chinese political uprising, mental health, overcoming adversity, faith, and forgiveness. Sight tackles these topics over 2 time periods. One, the present, where Ming Wang, the respected surgeon, must think outside the box in his desperate attempt to give this little girl her vision. And 2, the past, where he is a high school student whose dreams of becoming a doctor are interrupted by political unrest in his home country of China. For these scenes of the past, considering this is the same studio that released Cabrini just a couple months ago, a film that magically recreated New York City of the early 1900s and did it so well, I compared the visual aesthetic to The Godfather Part 2. It's disappointing that Sight did very little to capture the time and location that ignited this man's journey. Most of the flashback scenes are in a small home or isolated locations like minimal characters on a beach. When moments of uprising do take place, it features unbelievable characters in thrift shop caliber costumes. And when the violence takes place, it's conveniently off-screen or borderline silly. I imagine that was done partially due to production budget restrictions and partially done to keep the film family friendly, which I do respect, but when last year the same studio told the story of child trafficking in Sound of Freedom, they were able to avoid anything graphic while still managing to establish the horrors taking place, allowing me as the viewer to grasp the severity of the situation. With Sight, I just never felt the inhumanity these characters were experiencing, and it was some nightmarish scenarios, so that disappoints me as a viewer. The lead, Terry Chen, who was unknown to me, works a lot if you look at his IMDb filmography. He gives a very stoic performance that I can't say is bad, but it is disengaging. His character internalizes everything, probably because his backstory reveals this dude has seen some really bad stuff, but as a result, I couldn't relate to him. It kinda has the same issue that Ryan Gosling faced when he portrayed the soft-spoken Neil Armstrong in 2018's First Man, which disappointed people that were expecting to see the actor's normal charm and charisma. So with Dr. Wang, we don't really understand his mental state. He clearly struggles with alcohol and he has literal ghosts haunting him, but we are never invited into his mind or thoughts, so we never have the opportunity to fully sympathize with his personal turmoil. And when we do learn of his motivation, it feels a tad contrived and unfortunately unbelievable. Where Sight shines, see what I did there, is in the inspirational true story. Dr. Ming Wang is truly an amazing man, and what he achieves in this story is literally historic. But even better than that is what he learns from Kajal, the young blind girl. He realizes that she opened his eyes, and the story displays this with a couple amazing moments that pull the rug out from under us. It shifts our expectations in ways that are both surprising and satisfying. And it reminds us that, as one character states, there is more to life than what you see. For my overall rating, I really wanted to love Sight, and I do love the amazing true story it tells, and I like some of the ways it subverts certain common storylines. However, the overall quality of the movie never achieves the inspirational tone that the true story deserves. So I will give it 2 out of 5 stars, which is just below average. Sight is an amazing true story about overcoming impossible odds in order to make a difference in the world from a studio that has made some great movies. And I hope people see it in the theater for those positive attributes. And I hope it connects with audiences, but for me, I just didn't click with its vision. What do you think? Comment below. If you enjoyed this review, please help me out by liking this video, subscribing to this channel, and ringing the notification bell. That way, you won't miss any of my future reviews. Also, you can check out my previous reviews by clicking on one of these boxes.